This one is all about Candace Bondurant. Yes, there will be other names in this here video, but that's because they are all related to this situation. Don't tell anything to me that you're not willing to tell the police. Laura Nelson, Cammie Jepsen. That's the thing, is that if you're not willing to tell the police, then you're not helping anyone. The police use the term mentally ill to give me the mentally ill treatment and prevent me from showing evidence. And they can get away with this because you didn't speak up. You want to judge, but you don't want to look at both sides. And that's why whenever you do that, I lose so much more respect for you. And that's hard to earn back. It really is. You would have to come forward with the truth and be honest to earn my respect in any measure. So Cammie tells me that her and Candace were defending me in these groups, and that they were catching a lot of guff. I already knew that, but they didn't come forward to the police about that. It didn't even occur to them how that made me feel. Not about them not going to the police, but about people being so cruel to them. Then again, they can just let it go. They weren't made homeless over it. They weren't assaulted repeatedly over it. They weren't railroaded in court over it. See, that's the thing, is that these people were incredible bullies to anyone who stuck up for me. Meanwhile, I was never allowed to show evidence. I had to go in by myself to speak to the police who had done so much wrong already, and I had to speak to them alone. I didn't have the ability to record those situations, and people are like, oh, you have a camera on your phone? Yes, but I had to use my phone in order to try to show evidence. When I went down there, first of all, let's start off with jurisdiction. The jurisdictional bullshit that I had to deal with. As far as Adams County goes with Natalie's situation. None of it happened in Arapahoe County, or none of it happened in Adams County. None of it. So that case is illegal, according to what the police kept telling me about jurisdiction over and over and over. When I tried to make those police take my report in Adams County, they refused, made every excuse not to. Meanwhile, the things that did take place there. Now, you guys who have watched the recordings with me and the police here, where Sheriff Scott DaCosta, outside of the house that I'm staying in, Sheriff Scott DaCosta says that they can't do anything about it. They can't investigate any of the stuff that these people are doing because it's not in his jurisdiction. But because I'm in chapel, because I supposedly did these things in chapel, that lo and behold, even though I did those things to defend myself, I'm the bad guy because he can't do anything about any of the rest of it. What a fucking piece of shit. Then again, he's a coward. He's a lazy piece of shit who's covering for the wrongdoing of his fellow officers. If that jurisdictional bullshit is correct, than the situation in Adams County and the situation in Arapahoe County with those protection orders. Those protection orders are all illegal. Because I didn't do any of those things in Arapahoe County or Adams County. None of them. But does that matter? No, it doesn't. What matters is that they were able to use that to create a public opinion that was used to have the public harm me so they could wash their hands clean. They could wipe their hands off and say, I didn't do it. It was someone else. Those people did it because of the crimes that you committed. Sheriff Scott DaCosta, Deputy Jared Hahn, Deputy Cody Selhorst. People say, oh, you need to mind your own business. Really? Did you mind your own business? When Shannon Alvarado exposed what Kara Johnson Miles was doing, Kara Johnson Miles got a hold of her to treat her like shit. Why do I treat treat Shannon Alvarado like shit? And what does this all have to do with Candace? Well, it has to do with Candace being the worst friend I've ever had. Because back when it made a difference, Candace stabbed me in the back and twisted the blade. She pretended to be my friend. She said, I got your back. And then she stabbed me in it. But then there's her mom. Candace can do no wrong. Candace can do no wrong because she's Lori's child. So I did what somebody should do in that situation. I recorded the truth. What can you do to help me? You can tell the truth, but you're not going to tell the truth. Now, when it comes to Laura Nelson speaks pretty freely, unless I'm recording. So, she's afraid to come forward and afraid to speak. She did tell the officer that, Officer Holloway, that she was afraid for her son, that she's afraid of being targeted because she's right on Main Street. Those things should come out in court. We the people means we. It means you care about your neighbors. Instead of looking away and saying, oh, well, I'm just minding my own business. People didn't mind their own business when it came to this. Not only did they not mind their own business, but they actually physically harmed me, and do you care? The police wouldn't take a report about it because no one went in with me. Not until Molly Smith. The police did everything that they could to utilize jurisdiction to prevent me from having an honest day in court, to prevent me from making reports against the police officers who assaulted me. And they had court illegally in places where I had done no wrong. And because I was illegally prevented from showing up, I couldn't contest any of it. The judge outright lied. Outright lied. Judge Fatzinger, the very same magistrate who put an address down on that protection order where there should not have been one, got to be the magistrate in another court date because I was illegally prevented from filing a report against that magistrate. And all of these people who wanted to tell me I need to do it all myself. No, I can't. I can't. The law prevents me from doing so. because of the term mentally ill. Someone has to go in with me. Someone has to speak for me. My words are discredited before they ever come out of my mouth because of the term mentally ill. And that is why these monsters get away with the things that they do. When someone is considered or called mentally ill, they have to have an advocate. And this needs to be by law. The things that the Bollingers got away with. I posted this evidence over and over and over. And these people, who I miss so much, they want to judge me because of the parts that they got to see. What parts did they get to see? The slander, the twisted manipulations of drug addicts. Christine Buhit. We didn't have just a verbal agreement, we had a written agreement when she passed me her Facebook. The evidence on that Facebook is relevant in court. She took it back. She took that Facebook back, knowing that there was evidence on there that could help to free me. I am not free now. I am not free. Just because I'm walking about doesn't make me a free man. Slaves walk about. Does that make them free? If they can be beaten at any point in time, if they can be harassed and threatened and they have to be afraid to go to the law because the law doesn't care, which they only care about the things that the people who beat you have to say. Fuck the law. Fuck the United States. I am a constitutionalist. If there is any other fight that I fight for more, you let me know. People say you need to pick just one cause and stick with it. I chose one cause a long time ago, and that cause was the Constitution. The Constitution is supposed to be for all of us. It is a socialist contract. The Constitution is supposed to apply the same to me as it does to Donald Trump. It's supposed to apply the same to me as it does to Candace Bondurant. But it doesn't. It only matters if you care, because if you don't care, these people can do whatever they want. If you don't care about the slaves, then it's okay to beat the slaves. Well, I care about them. I care about them. And yes, there are millions of slaves in the United States. I want you fucking idiots to look up the 13th Amendment to the Constitution before you kiss my ass.